to the Start Your Business 10-Day Challenge. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I know you've been wanting to start your business or at least test it out. So this is perfect for you to test out where it's going, how you can do it, and see. Now, I want to give you a little bit the rules of the challenge before we go. We're going to spend 10 days together. We're going to get to know each other. I want to hear a lot of comments. I want to see a lot of comments. And we can communicate. And it's going to be a very interactive challenge. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Are you ready? I'm just ready to go. And just really just get my energy up. And I hope you got your energy up too. And let's go. But first, let's talk about the rules of the challenge, because that's very important. Because as excited as we are to start our challenge and to go on and do everything, you've probably been thinking about this for years. And this is finally the time. Let me start my business. Let me do it. Let me take action. This is for people who want to take action. So here's the difference between a course and a challenge. A course you sign up for, you pay your money, you go get information, you learn, you take notes, something you can use possibly later. A challenge is I challenge you to do something now. It's about taking action. So for example, if I challenge you to drink a full glass of water and you only drink half, did you accept the challenge? Maybe you accepted it, but you definitely didn't pass it. You didn't do it. You have to actually do the challenge to complete it. It's not something you just do on your own pace. Yes, you can get the information, but you have not completed the challenge. This is a challenge, not a course, not TV, not something you sit and you listen to. You take notes in order to act. So I encourage you to take action, to act during this process. You have 10 days. At the end of this 10 days, you're going to be a totally different person because you're going to have different information. You're going to know when to start, what to do. You're going to have a better idea. Now, it's not going to be over because it takes more than 10 days to really establish anything good. But you'll have a head start. You kind of know what to do, how to do it. And if by chance, some of the stuff that we're going to give you, you're not going to be able to do all of it in one day, most of the stuff. Now you might be a Superman, you might be able to. But most people are not going to be able to do everything in one day. It takes time, but you'll have started. So to pass the challenge, you have to start on each different task that we asked you to do. And possibly you can always go back after the 10 days, and now you already know what to do. You already have a head start, and you just continue working on those 10 steps. So it's 10 steps, 5 plus 5. I got this little thing in my hand to stop the camera when I need to. But anyways, I'm just going to be myself, be yourself, comment. We're going to have fun. It's going to be great because we're going to be together for 10 days. Now, here's also the rules, how to participate. Okay, now, along with this video, there's also going to be a text that's going to tell you what your task of the day is, what the homework is, what you have to do. Now, during the video, I want you guys to comment. When I ask questions, put it in the comments, say things, interact. But your homework, your actual task, is something that you write in your notebook. There's certain questions, you got to really think about it. You got to spend time with it, write it down, develop it, and send proof that I know that you actually did it. Take a picture of your work and you message it to me separately. Send it to my inbox separately. Don't put it in the comments unless you want to. But if you're comfortable, it's just your own little idea, it's your project, you want to, no one's going to steal your idea. You actually don't have to share the actual idea. We just have to want to know that you actually did the work. That's how you pass the challenge. Now, why do I want that to happen? Because at the end of the challenge, people who successfully achieve the challenge and do all 10 days, send in their homework, I have a special prize for you, a special gift. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that gift is. Why? Because I want the biggest gift for you to be is actually doing this challenge. Starting your business is the greatest gift you can give yourself. There's nothing I can give you that's going to be greater than that. So if not knowing what it is, or if knowing what it is would have helped you do it more, then you still have the wrong mind frame. You don't care about a gift. The gift is bonus. The accomplishment, the sense of doing it is the greatest gift you're going to get. But if you do achieve it, I'm going to add a little something extra, a little incentive because you participated. I love to encourage entrepreneurs. I know it's not something easy. I've started many companies and all of them was scary, risky, because you're investing your money, your hard-earned money that you worked for, you're putting it into something else that you don't know if it's going to happen. It's like you're taking a chance. It's not a sure thing. And a lot of people don't start business because of that. They don't know what's going to happen. But I encourage you today to think more like a scientist that has a hypothesis. And you're like, okay, is this going to work? I'm going to try it out. You might fail certain things, but keep going. You might prove yourself wrong. You might have this great idea. And this happened to me so many times. I have this great idea. This is going to be so awesome. How come no one else thought of that? Then you do some research and you realize other people thought of that. There's hundreds of people doing the same thing. You're like, I never heard of these people, and then you figure out why other people didn't do it the way, why they failed. So it's important to do your research, and it's important to start. That's the most important thing, is that you start. The idea that you start with might be totally different 10 days from now. You might have to adjust. I started a company with this grand idea, this grand business plan. By week 2, a lot of my plans have changed. The whole product has changed. The market has changed. Everything has definitely adapted. But you keep on going. And it's a beautiful journey. Don't be afraid. We're here to guide you. I'm here for you. And let us get started. Last thing, make sure you have a notebook. So get a notebook after the video is over. Make sure you have a notebook to write in, to do your homework in. And then read the text, like I said. Do the task. Send in proof of completion directly to Messenger. You can send it directly to me. You can click on my profile, send me a friend request, go ahead and send it to me, and we are off and running. This is going to be great. All right. So last thing, everybody won't make it. So don't feel bad. Everybody who starts with us doesn't finish it. It's a challenge. It's not a course. That means I challenge you to do something that you would have done that is not easy. If I challenge you to do something that's, hey, I challenge you to have a bowl of ice cream, that's not a hard challenge. It's too easy. It's got to be something that pushes you a little bit, stretches you a little bit. And some people don't want to be stretched, and that's fine. It's just not ready for them yet. But for you doing it, focus on yourself. Say, I'm going to do this challenge. I'm going to achieve it. But everybody who starts isn't going to finish. If that happens, I've never done a challenge where 100% of the participants won or I successfully got it. That would be way too easy. Imagine you're in a class and everybody gets 100% on every test. The class is too easy. If you're getting that, these challenges are too easy for you. And so this is going to be exciting. Test yourself. It has to be that curiosity. Like, I wonder if I can do this. That's what life is. I wonder if I can do this. I wonder if I can stretch myself. You got to have that curiosity, that question in your head. Certainty does not create challenges. It's kind of like sports. I love sports. Okay, you don't know who's going to win. And it's a challenge. You challenge the other team to beat you, and you're going to stop them from doing that, and you're going to try to win the challenge. They're challenge you to beat them. I challenge that you're not going to be able to score on me. I'm going to score on you, and that's the whole game. Without that, there's no game, there's no competition, there's no challenge, and this is a challenge. So if you're in the right place, continue. If you're in the wrong place, I apologize. Hang out anyways. You might hear something you like, and that's how it is. In 10 days, we will see where you are. All right, let's start. First thing I want to talk about, day one. Day one is your task is to research your idea. That is your first task for day one. And what do I want you to research? I want you to think about? What questions you have to answer in your notebook? Who is the intended audience of your product or service? Super important. If you have a product, that's not enough. You got to know who is your intended audience. If your product is for everybody, that means it's for nobody. I had a guy I was helping. He wanted to start a bottled water company. Who's your audience? Everybody drinks water, but you can't sell to everybody. You got to know who your audience is. And so that's a question I can't answer for you. You got to do some research. You got to look at what communities you're in, who needs it, who will it serve. There's a whole bunch of questions that come with who is your audience. Some of you guys might already know the answer. Some of you guys might already be there. That's fine. Research it, look at it, go deeper into it. All right, second question about how large is your intended audience? So how many people is it? Is it 10 people? Is it 1 million people? How many people? And remember, you can start with a small audience and you expand as you grow. So Facebook is a huge company. They started with just one university. That was the intent. It wasn't for this big. So that's a good example, like I was saying earlier. You could start with something and you end up with something totally different. Like Facebook. It started with one idea and it kept on growing. And then other universities said, hey, can we participate? So it's supposed to be just for Ivy League colleges. Then it turned into all colleges. And then now it's like for everybody. But he could not have started with this idea. He didn't know it was going to be such a grand company and grand idea for everybody. And if he had started with that, he would have been overwhelmed. And a lot of people might not have even joined it in the beginning, but it would have been too big of an idea. So you start small. Who's your audience? Who are you going to target? Who are you going to sell to? That's super important. Okay, what percentage of the audience is already served by another company? You got to know who your competition is. That is super hyper important to know these things. Other things, we continue. I hope you're learning a lot. I hope you feel like you're getting so much out of this. But let me continue. All right, we're still researching the idea. What are the demographics of your intended audience, including income level and employment rate? Super important questions to ask yourself because you know how to price, you know how to present. Until you know who your audience is, you're not going to know how to present your product. You're not going to know how to appeal to the crowd. Because everybody likes different things, different people, different cultures, different languages. So you have to know what crowd you're talking to. Okay, where do your customers live? They don't live everywhere. If they're online, even if they're online, they're in certain places online. They're not everywhere online. They're in certain groups on Facebook. They're not everywhere. So you have to know where they are, at least where the majority of them are or likely to be. Okay? Does your product or service provide customer benefit or solve a problem? This is so important because if your product is a luxury product, it's not solving a problem, it's providing an extra benefit, it's providing something versus somebody who has a problem. So now the way you present it, the way you sell it, you talk about the pain. If you're solving a problem, you got to point out the pain. If you're providing a benefit, a luxury, something extra, then you talk about the good life, that they can afford to do it, that they're happy. So there's different ways to sell. You can sell pleasure, you can sell pain, but you have to know your product and you have to know your audience and what your product is providing. Okay, what competitive advantage can your business provide over similar companies? So when I say research, you have to kind of look into what other people are doing. How much are they charging? What advantage do they have? What makes you different? I was working in the vacation industry for many years. And there's a lot of things while I was working there, I thought, man, I could do this better. Or we should do this. I'd make suggestions and the company really wouldn't listen. They would, nah, let's not do it that way, without giving an explanation. So when I started my own company, a lot of the great ideas I had, I went and implemented them. But then I realized, so even when you do all your research, you ask all your questions, you know everything, today's theme is to research your idea. You have an idea, research it, who's doing it, try to find all the information you have on it. But even then, when you have everything, you're still not going to know everything because you're going to learn more in actually doing it, testing it out, than you are going to be just asking questions. So for example, when I left my company, I started my own company in the same industry. I'm basically almost selling the same thing. That was my intention. Then I kind of discovered another product that could add to it. And that added product became like the main product. And there's one thing that our company used to do, and me as a manager at the time, I had to enforce these rules and enforce this principle, but I didn't really believe in it 100%. So I said, when I start my own company, I'm not going to add that part. I'm going to leave that part out because that's kind of a waste of time. I don't really want to do that part. I don't think it's worth it. Until I started my own company, then I was like, oh, actually, I need to do that piece because this piece helps me to accomplish these other pieces. So there's a lot of things, even though you ask the question, you're going to have your own opinion, and that's fine. You're going to have your own ideas, and that's perfectly fine. But you're only going to discover if you need it or if you're going to use it after. It might be a year after you start your business, and you go ahead and implement a new technique. But there's a lot of things, it's when you go through the pain of like not having it. You're like, oh man, I really need this. I'm losing money. That's why these guys use that. Even though I was in the company for years, I never believed in it until I was losing money because I didn't have it. Even though I was using the product, I was using that system, I was doing it every day. I was teaching people, I was training people to do it. I was giving them all the reasons why. I still didn't do it until I felt the pain. And then I was like, oh yeah, I need to do this. This is an important part and it has many elements. So that's pretty much day one. Comment if you are all in. Now that you've seen day one, there's many more. This is just the first part. Research your ideas day one. That's the first part. We have 10 days to go. So if you're all in and you've seen it, text in the comment, I'm all in. And I want to see you here tomorrow. We're going to continue going this over and over. Now your homework is in the text part. It's not in the video. You're going to look at the text attached to this video. It's going to have what you have to do. The homework is what you write in your notebook, take a picture of, and you inbox it to me. Don't put it in the comments. But once you're done, once you finish inbox it to me, text into the comments, day 1 done. Tomorrow when you do your homework, you'll say day 2 done. Day 3 done until day 10. Okay, just so you can be in action. Other people will see the comments coming through. They'll see the notification. That'll encourage them. You'll also see them coming through. And we're a community. It's going to be fun. If you have questions, talk. You're getting anything. You discover anything new, comment. Say it. Say what you have to say. If you want to share your homework in the comments, feel free to do that. Some people don't like sharing their ideas, putting themselves out there. But I say put yourself out there. Do it. There's much more to come. Much more to learn. Ask questions, do your research. Now, all your research is not going to be done all in one day because you have a lot to research. You have a lot to add, but you can start. And in your homework, I want to know what you started doing. What did you do? What call did you make? What did you look up? You have to have done something to have completed day 1. After this challenge, you'll have time to go back, complete your research, complete all the other steps that we're doing. So I hope you enjoyed this today. I'll see you tomorrow. My name is Dan Nzinga. I'm here to help you. I'm your coach. I'm going to do everything in my power to help you successfully start that business that you've been wanting to start. Ask questions. Let me know if there's any problem or concern. I'm here for you. Thank you very much, Dan Nzinga, and I will see you tomorrow.